So this is a reef tank which has been recently relocated, and it's just been set up in a new circumstance. So we're expecting potential changes to the color of the rock and what grows in the rock and so forth. So the plan is to, over time, ensure that our water quality is correct in order to favour the coralline algae. Now, if over time, particularly post relocation, if we haven't taken care of our water quality, then over time we'll start losing coralline algae and we'll start getting noxious algae. So it's quite possible that the rock would go quite whitish, then it will quite possible it'll go brown, then quite possible it'll go green, depending on the water source that you're using. It's best to use RO water, and depending on how your parameters are sitting. But once you get desirable parameters in your aquarium, within the next month or so, over time, these conditions will start to be right for the coralline, and then over months it will start to return. And at the end of the day, once the aquarium is well established, the color of your rock and the quality of your corals that you get next month is governed by what your water quality is like now, and the quality and corals that you get now is governed by what your water quality was like last month. So what we're doing now is just going through a little bit of his bits and pieces. So these are just some of the products that were in the cupboard. So the first thing we'll talk about is this one, and this is Reef Foundation ABC. It's really quite a good product, and it's good for a nice stable aquarium. You can work out how many teaspoons a week the tank needs, and that will help to compensate for calcium and carbonate absorption and so forth. But you really don't want to rely on that product on its own, because you're not able to make any adjustments. So in this case, we've got a calcium product, a carbonate product, and a magnesium product. So we can additionally dose these to alter the levels that we're getting with our tests. So we do a bunch of tests, we use this to make any alterations we need, and then we use this one as a stable base. The other thing we've got is a nitrate phosphate remover. I find that this product, when added daily and when your skimmer is cleaned regularly, is very efficient for nitrate control. I do not find that it's always effective for phosphate control. But in this case, we've added a bit of Phos FX to the filter, so the phosphate is being well managed. So ensuring that we're managing a low nitrate and low phosphate and a nice high calcium, carbonate and magnesium, then the position will be very good for the aquarium. We've also got Reef Energy A and B, which are really quite a good vitamin, amino acid, trace element mix. So we're also going to be adding that daily. And I like to use these products sparingly. So I tend to use what they recommend or less of these products. Then we've got some marine snow, which is quite good for spot feeds and a bit of extra energy. So if there's any particular corals that we think just need a bit of extra energy, you can put a bit of that in a pipette and squirt it gently at the coral, or you can just add a little bit to the aquarium. So all in all, as far as water quality is concerned, this is basically everything that you need in order to maintain the aquarium. Now, hand dosing is all very well in a new tank, but then as your tank gets established, you really want to work it that you've got a dosing pump, because a dosing pump basically takes you out of the equation and means that as the aquarium gets more established and you get busy and you get distracted on other things, it means the aquarium will still be able to run well, even when it's probably not getting the attention that it did at the start. So the other thing we're going to look at is the lights. I'm not familiar with this brand of lights, and I'm not confident that they have 420 nm spectrum. I'm quite confident they don't. So 420 nm spectrum is really the spectral peak where I find the corals really do best. But these lights are very powerful and there is a lot of light. So it is possible this tank will go okay even though it doesn't have 420, just from the sheer power of the lights. But that's something that we'll monitor over time. And it is possible that this aquarium will be restricted to what species it can keep, governed by the lack of 420. But that's something that we'll monitor over time. But all in all, everything's looking great.